dying and being injured on Russia's side, that's why they're struggling. Because the people are angry and they're about to revolt. Y'all get a pretty good picture about this? Okay. Moving on. Okay. So here we're going to section 3. This is a global conflict. So when I say global, what do I mean?
Like, I guess like all the main powers at the time.
Main powers, but we're not just talking about Europe. Where are we going to?
America. It's like
America's coming, but they're reaching out to folks still on their hemisphere.
So African and Asian.
Yeah. So like their colonies, people like that, they're bringing that to what we're talking about today. Okay. So I'm gonna talk about that in just a second, but I need y'all to think about that. It's becoming a global conflict. This is not just a German, Russia, Austria, Hungary, and France problem. This is now becoming a global economy, and I meant to say Britain as well, guys. So we have the Gallipoli campaign. So where this is located, we're talking about the Turkish Empire. And this particular area is called the Dardanelles, which what the Allies' idea is, if they can go ahead and conquer the Dardanelles back there, then they can get over to Constantinople. Does anybody remember why Constantinople is so important? From like early history. Okay, somebody look it up. Why is Constantinople so important? Drew, get your iPad out. Look it up. I'm going to make a point, but I want you to know what we're talking about.
like something about the land.
Well, yeah, but it was really important. And Drew's going to tell us why it was really important.
It was the largest and richest urban centers in the eastern Mediterranean during the late Roman Empire, mostly due to its strategic position commanding the trade routes between the Aegean Sea and the Black Sea.
That's right. So if, I'm not saying what happened, so if the Allies get Constantinople, do you think this is a really big win for them? I'm sorry, what did you say? Okay. So it's going to be a really huge win. It's going to really push the war. It's going to turn the tide. But wait. We're in a stalemate because the Ottomans are pushing them back, and they're being led by German officers because they're getting supplies, they're getting the industry, they're getting the new technology. So we're got a stalemate. This starts in March of 2017, and then we're still going to stalemate in May of 2017. And guess how many people on the Allied side did we lose? 250,000 people. How many is that? 250,000. So that's why the Allies decide, we're going to just move back. We're just going to pick up our stakes and go back. But while that's going on, we have battles in Africa and Asia. So Germany's got all these possessions around the world. We've got German. Y'all remember when we did the Berlin Conference for Africa? Remember how Germany had that area over there? They're going to lose it. Remember how we were talking about how they had holdings in the Asia part of the world, the Philippines? They're going to lose it. And the British and the French on the Allied side, they're going to recruit all their colonials to fight for the cause against Germany. Now, the British own a significant colony called India. And I'm going to bring this up. There's a gentleman by the name of Mahatma Gandhi, and I probably butchered his name, so sorry. He said that if we want to raise our level in India, we need to help the people who are governing us so we can raise up our level and fight with them to show that we are willing to work together. Didn't quite work that way, but that was the thought, and he was the first one to do peaceful resistance versus violent resistance. Now here we go. America's going to join the fight. America joins the fight, and Germany comes up with a policy called unrestricted submarine warfare. Can anybody tell me what they think unrestricted submarine warfare means? That's right. Meaning, Germany decided they're going to use this policy. That means if you come into their waters, you're fair game. If they even think for a minute you're carrying any type of military weapons, any type of ammunition to Britain, France, anybody, so sorry, we're going to torpedo your ship and you're going down. So, do you think the United States of America thought that was a good idea? Why not? Not they didn't like the Germans, they had what? Trade routes with? There you go. Good job. Okay. So, I want you to look at this picture, and I'm going to explain why I included it. This is a family photo. And I know I show a lot of family photos, but this is my great uncle's company out of Sumner County that went over during World War I. And he's like over here. That's him, right there. But this is the Sumner County, one of the Sumner County troops that did their training, I believe it was in Georgia, and then they went overseas to help win the war. And we'll talk about the effects that had in just a minute, okay? Okay, so, war affects the home front. So if you are someone on the home front, and it can be the United States, it can be France, it can be Britain, it can be Germany, and your government has a policy, we're going to do total war. What does that mean to you? What did you say, Ryan? Well, they're going to fight the war, but they're going to have to do some things at home so that they can fight the war. What do you think some of those things are? What, huh? Give money, but what's the money going to buy? That's right. So they're going to, like, all their industries are going to go to either providing supplies, supplying ammunitions, manufacturing guns, manufacturing, this is our first machine gun we have, manufacturing our tanks, gas masks to protect us from the gassing that's going on during the war. Remember, we talked about that last time. So that's what they mean by total war. Also, another thing that happens is if they need a certain material, food, supply, they institute something called rationing. Has anyone heard of rationing before? Grandparents, great-grandparents? Okay. So rationing, so like gasoline right now is a very, very high commodity in the United States, all over the world, and if we ever get to the point of how strategic and useful it was during the war, we would institute something called a ration. And what rationing is the government decides the citizens of Britain, France, Germany, United States can only get this amount of gas, say, for the month or for the week. And once you use that ration,